strategies that I've come across, which I do in my personal life, has also been inspired from this book. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take some of the information that we can find in this book and start coding and try to see the results and try to figure out what Jim Simmons has been doing in this fund. So one of the pages in the book here, it's about Axe. Axe used to work for Jim Simmons. He was part of the fund, and he's also some kind of a mathematical genius. I think he's got like amazing papers written by him. And if you can see in this paragraph, he focuses on a thing called Markov chain. So in a Markov chain, each step along the way is impossible to predict with certainty, but future steps can be predicted with some degree of accuracy if one relies on a capable model. And they go on to create a stochastic equation based on this Markov chain. Another important thing, which is just a few pages prior to this, was this one. Laufer, again another mathematical genius working for Simmons, and they did more of a mean reverting strategy. So here the strategies were often based on the idea that prices tend to revert after an initial move higher or lower, and they would buy futures contracts if they opened at unusually low prices. So that is a typical example of a mean reverting strategies. So at the end of the book, one of the things that I noticed was his trading result. And if you can see in 2008, 2007, which was basically the recessionary time frame, he went on to make 152% return, 136% return. That's substantially higher than any of those years. And you've got to understand that during recessionary periods, the volatility is extremely high and mean reverting strategies perform extremely well. So even the strategies that we do in our course, especially Q3 and Q5, worked tremendously well during the 2008-2007 recession and also the past 2 years. So this is one of the strategies that we teach in the course, Q5, and it's performed very well the past 2 years, and also in the 2008 recession. This is a mean reverting strategy. So if I can zoom into some of the strategies, I can hear short here, close position there, long here, close position the next day, long here, close position there. So you're always going to see lots of good trades in recession environment. The past 2 years has been really good for a mean reverting based strategy. So this is the trading result of that mean reverting strategy on the SPY. And if I can look into that buy and hold equity line, this period you see here, that was the 2008 recession. You can literally see the blue line, which is the S&P 500 buy and hold, has crashed almost 50%, but the mean reverting strategy performed extremely well. Now, if you can go back to the 2001-2002 period, it's literally an X. The blue line went down considerably while our strategy performed extremely well. Same thing can be seen the past 2 years, because 2001 to 2021, 2022, and including now, the market still hasn't recovered. You can see from the peak it's been going down and still is in like a consolidation, doesn't recover the highs, but the strategy has performed extremely well. And the reason why is because of the recessionary environment. Recessionary volatility based, high volatility based environment gives great results for mean reverting strategies. So what we're going to do, so if you guys want to check out this course, feel free to visit our website, the Quant program, and this strategy comes in the Quant program Prometheus, which includes 10 strategies, and it also includes many other important strategies along with trend following and momentum based, and also Monte Carlo simulation, portfolio optimization, forward testing, and all the other important quant trading tools necessary. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to discuss what the Markov process is, because Markov process is what we saw from the book, and what is a Markov process and how we can create trading strategies from the Markov process. So to start off with, Markov process is basically a random sequence of events where the probabilities of the future is based on the current state. Okay, it's not based on the past. So tomorrow's probabilities depends upon today. It's not dependent on yesterday. So for instance, if I have to predict the weather prediction for tomorrow is based on today and not yesterday. So Markov process is used in many different fields, just not in the quantitative trading field. It's also used in weather forecasting and many other fields. So I hope you guys understood the definition of Markov process. Now I'm going through the example of it so you guys get an idea in simple terms. So let's take two scenarios. So one is a Markov guy and the other is a human being. So let's take the case of a human being. Let's take myself as a condition. So I wake up in the morning, I wake up at home, and then I go to the shop to buy some stuff, and I buy the stuff, and then I go to work. So when I reach the shop, I know I came from home, so there's no reason for me to go back to home, so I can go straight to work. So Markov, on the other hand, he goes from home and goes straight to the shop, and now he's in the current state, right? So in the current state, he can go either home or to work, because he doesn't know what happened the previous instance as compared to human being. So the whole Markov probabilities is based on this this current state and future state, because the shop is where the current state is, and once Markov is in that current state of the shop, he can go either to home or to work. But when Markov is at work, he has nowhere else to go, so he goes straight to shop. Same thing goes when he's at home, he has nowhere else to go, and then he goes straight to the shop. So if you're calculating the probabilities of the Markov, that's when things get slightly not complicated, but the numbers start to come into play. So when he is at home, there's only one place for him to go, and that is to the shop. So there's a 100% probability that he will go to the shop, so then we write 1. Now on the other scenario, when he's at the shop, as I said before, he doesn't know where he came back from, so he can go either to home or to work. So now there's a 50% chance for him to go either home or work. Now once Markov reaches work, again he has nowhere else to go, so he's got a 100% probability that he will go to the shop. So this is how simple the Markov probability is. Now if you are putting this into trading perspective, so let's take a trading example into consideration. So forget the thing that's going on here, let's just focus on this one here. So these numbers are hypothetical numbers, so I'm going to explain to you what this is all about. So you see this positive percentage and negative percentage. So whenever you see the news, you always see the market went up 5% and the market went down 2% and things like that. So that's a percentage move for the specific day. So in this positive percentage move, the 0.7 depicts the probability of the next day being positive percentage. So if today is a positive percentage close, if today is an up day, then the next day's probability is 0.7. Now the 0.7 is just a hypothetical number, so don't go deep into it as of now. So this positive percentage, for the next day to be a positive percentage, is 0.7. So what will be a negative percentage? It's pretty simple. It's 1 minus 0.7. That is 0.3. So you can see the arrow here. That's minus percentage. So similarly, when it's today's negative percentage, what is the probability that the next day will be negative? Well, here I put in 0.2. So what's the probability that it will be a positive? It's 1 minus 0.2, which is 0.8. Now, how did I come across all these numbers? Well, you can calculate in many ways. You can calculate just based on historical data. We can calculate the number of up days and the number of down days and divide it by the up day and the total number of down days, and we'll get the probability of the up days and down days. And then there are machine learning models as well. So if you can go through that book, one of the things that they have done is even before many years, you're talking about 30 years or so, they've been using machine learning models. But now these days you can use machine learning models with just a few lines of code. So I hope you guys understood the whole idea of this thing, of this Markov probabilities. These numbers are just hypothetical, but now you can put this into a matrix, right? This is called a transitional matrix. So you've got the positive percentage, you've got the negative percentage, you've got the positive percentage, you've got the negative percentage here as well in the columns. So a positive percentage and the next day is a positive percentage is 0.7, as you saw here. Similarly, a positive percentage and the next day is a negative percentage is 0.3. Again, negative percentage day and the next day is a positive percentage day is 0.8, as you can see here, and a negative percentage followed by the next day a negative percentage is 0.2. So if you can observe something, 0.7 plus 0.3 is 1 and 0.8 plus 0.2 is again 1. So this is basically a transition matrix. So here we have just taken 2 days in a row, so we can actually have more rows and more columns where you can have plus plus minus minus here, or plus 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 minus minus minus. You can have many kinds of permutations and combinations in this, but this is basically Markov trading, and this is how we calculate the trading probability. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to a real world example on SPY, and we're going to calculate the probabilities of the SPY getting a positive percentage on the next day following the previous day being the positive percentage, and similarly negative and negative and negative and positive. So this is the Anaconda notebook where we'll be calculating the Markov process and transition probabilities. And if you don't know anything about Python, then I would suggest you to go to our video in our channel, Algorithmic Trading in Python. So you get the basics of how to do Python. So it'll be really beneficial for you in your quant trading journey. You can also do the trading with PineScript if you fancy as well. So now going to the Anaconda notebook. So first thing we do is basically we download the Y Finance library and the pandas and the NumPy, which is necessary for us to calculate many things. Then we download the data. So we download the data for SPY from 2010 to 2022. You can download more data, or you can keep the data smaller so you can assess different time periods. So for example, if you want to just assess a recessionary time period, you can just do the 2008 or the 2001 dot-com bubble crash, so you get the recessionary environment data as well. So it's up to you really. So I've just randomly chosen 2010 to 2022. And then we've actually downloaded the data. And basically you can see the open, high, low, close, and the adjusted close and the volume. So we need to calculate the daily return. So we're going to take the adjusted close and dot percentage change function, and that'll give us the percentage difference between yesterday and today, and also the state. So basically state is where the daily return is greater or equal to 0. We have got up, so we got the NumPy, pandas NumPy as NP, so that's why we use NP here. So daily return is greater than equal to 0, then it's an up day, else it's a down day, and then we've stored it in data of state. So then here is the data frame of the data, and you can see the daily return here and whether it's an up percentage close or a down percentage close. So you can see whenever there's a positive one, it's up, and whenever there's a negative one, it's down. Negative here, again, it's down. Negative here, it's again down as well. So basically we're using just pure math to find out the probabilities as compared to using machine learning models. However, in the book they have talked about machine learning models, and that was years ago. So now you can do machine learning models just with a few lines of code. So if you guys are stoked about doing this, making this more efficient, then go ahead with the machine learning model as well. But as of now, we're just going to make it simple so you guys can understand the process. So we've got the up counts and the down counts. So up counts is basically you take the length of the data of the state where it's up. So how many days has there been up, and then similarly down counts give you the length, so how many days it's been down. So if you can get that information, then we can calculate the probabilities. We're not going to use these two lines of codes anyway, but it's just created to give you an understanding of how to calculate the probabilities. So up to up is like 2 consecutive positive percentage close, down to up is a negative day followed by a positive day, and up to down similarly, and down to down 2 consecutive down days. So we calculate the length of the how many times the days has been like consecutive up days, and then we divide it by the up day, and that'll give us the probability of a 2 consecutive up days. Similarly, down to up to down, and down to down. And then we'll do a transition matrix where we've got like a pandas data frame, and we're going to put all these results into like a matrix, kind of a fancy kind of a way. And then we'll print the transition matrix, and we've got the information. So you can see up to up is 54%. Up to down is 45%, down to up is 57%, and down to down is 42%. So the best performing is an up day after a down day. So that is 57%. So if I'm going to take any bet in all these 4 conditions, my bet will be to go for an up day after a down day, because there's a 57% chance for that to work out. Now down to down is significantly lower, so it's just 42%. So there is nothing significant for us to make a trade in. So in all these numbers are not that significant. It's on the 50%, 40% area. So I want something more effective. So let's do another one. Let's do what's the probability of up day if there is 5 consecutive down days. So down day, down day, down day, down day, down day, and then we divide it by the length. That's here again, length of the 5 or 6 down days, and what is the probability of that? So that probability is 66%. Now that is a pretty good probability. 66% is something that I can work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this information that I've got like 5 to 6 days of down days, and the probability of the next day being an up day is pretty good. So I'm going to take this information, I'm going to backtest it. So 9 times out of 10, I would backtest in Army Broker, but now just to make things simple, I'm just going to go into Python editor, and I'm going to do a condition where close is less than 1, close of 1 is less than close of 2. So basically yesterday's close is lower than the prior day. So we got that condition for 5 to 6 days. and that is our entry if that condition is met. And then we are going to close our position if the next day close is higher than today's close. So it's pretty simple. Now you can create a Markov model for the exit condition as well. So what is the probability of us having a greater return if the close is tomorrow or 2 days later? So then we can calculate a better probability and create even better strategy. So when you run this strategy, you would see the result as 46% with a drawdown of just 5%. So this is not at all significant when you look at simple terms, but when you look in the overall perspective, it's pretty good, because you can see there's only 20 trades placed, and that's from 1994, and it's only based on one condition. So imagine if you create multiple conditions on Markov model. So here we did 6 days of consecutive close below. So what about 5 days? What about 4 days? What about a combination like up, down, up, followed by an up day, or down, down, up, followed by an up day? So then you can add up more and more conditions if the probability is suiting you, like 60% up, and then your net profit starts climbing up and up and up again. And because you've got more conditions, the drawdowns start to be better as well, because if you're basing it on just one strategy, then the drawdowns won't be that significant. So you need to have more strategies. So we did the video, just the prior video, the GPT-4, where we did a strategy wherein we had a strategy applied to 25 stocks and also 90 stocks, and how we were able to reduce the drawdown considerably just by doing the strategy in multiple stocks. Similarly, if you can add more conditions to this, this will be spectacular. So the whole idea of this video is for you guys to understand what a Markov process is, to code it in Python, and then apply it in your trading goals. So for example, the Q5 strategy that we did in our course, if you can look at it, because it's a mean reverting strategy, and also the fact that it's kind of inspired from the Markovian model, you can see how amazingly it performs. So this is the 2001 dot-com bubble where the market just crashed considerably well, and you can see it's literally a diagonal, literally across. Similarly here, again, 2008 crash where it went down 54%, and look at the results of that strategy. Again, recently, past 2 years, the market went down, and this strategy has outperformed the market, and the drawdown is quite minimal as well. So this is the advantage of Markovian model. So in this strategy, I took the Markovian model and I effectively did it. I don't want to give out much information about it, but the people who know the course know how I combine two different things. I've chosen the days similar to what we saw here, the close is less than one kind of thing, but then I use the exit condition to be slightly tweaked. So these are some of the things that you can efficiently do in creating good strategies. Great strategies based on good probabilities. So in this case, we've got a 66% probability, and that's why it kind of worked. So even if I go to the ETF of QQQ, again, you will see a 21% return, and Microsoft and Walmart, and the list just goes on. So you will basically see just based on one condition, right? So imagine having multiple conditions and applying this to multiple stocks, and this is pretty much what Jim Simmons is doing. And we don't know exactly what he's doing, but all we can do is to get information from the book, information from any kind of interviews he does, combine together and kind of improve. But regardless, when you're on your quant trading journey, you're trying to get the probabilities in your favor. So any tool, including the Markovian process, and calculate the transition probabilities, is highly efficient. So in this case, we actually did, just based on historical data probabilities. Now you can actually tweak that to use a machine learning model to calculate the probabilities of these. You can go a step further, create a for loop and change these down datas and down and up to different combinations and calculate more probabilities, create a massive matrix, not just up, up, down, like 10 rows here, 10 columns there, and then you can tweak the data points. Instead of this, you can actually do the recessionary environment, so you can create a recessionary based environment strategy or trend following strategy. So sky's the limit when you have data and when you have the tools and the skills to process it. So I hope you guys like this video. If you have any queries, any doubts or clarifications, feel free to leave a comment. And I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
La ha perdido. Oh, Dios mío. Oh. Mm, what happened here? We went out. Okay, so we touched here. We came back down. Very good. What did I do? This one is NQ, right? NQ. This one is this one. But this don't change. Okay, I see. Let's go. Hello, God. Well, if we have 200, that means we came all the way down here. Yep. That means we're coming down here again. Hmm. Yeah. Opportunity lost. Oh, well, man. Opportunity lost. Very wise. He hit that one. And that's why it came back up. Are you not singing or a Phil? Why are you not singing? You have a voice. What's your voice? What's your voice? You have a voice. How do you do voice on this shit? Hmm. Okay, so we have one more tactic here. What's the sound on this bitch? No, it's not. No, it's not here. De 300 a 360.
Hello and welcome back to Patrick Boyle on Finance. So this week in the news, legendary investor Jim Simons has stepped down as the chairman of Renaissance Technologies, which is of course the most successful quant hedge fund in history. Now Simons hasn't been in charge of the day-to-day running there for probably over a decade, but he has stayed on as the chairman of the fund up until this January. Jim's retirement marks the end of an era in finance. Simons' career and the fund that he launched proved that the finance textbooks which claim that markets are perfectly efficient were wrong. Obviously, the trading strategies at Renaissance are secret, but let's look at Simons' career and see what lessons we can learn. So Simons didn't have a fancy upbringing. He was a middle-class kid from Massachusetts. His father was the manager of a shoe factory in Brookline, Massachusetts, just outside outside of Boston. He excelled at school, graduating high school in 3 years, then skipping the first year of mathematics while at MIT.